Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. On one of my flights this past week, I was sitting next to a young, talented woman named Erica. And I was reading my book and she was reading hers, but then we got into a conversation. And she asked what I did and we talked a little bit about it. And she was telling me about her work. And then she said, but it's been very interesting. I haven't been very happy lately. And I said, oh, really? Why not? And she said, well, my manager and I were having a conversation and I was telling her a little bit about what I wanted in my work. And she told me she didn't think I was a fit and thought I probably needed to go look for something else. And I said, oh, really? And she was, of course, upset about it. And she was just really flustered and frustrated and feeling, beat down a little bit. And I said to her, and I said, oh, Erica, she's just given you the best gift ever. And she looked at me kind of oddly and said, really? And I said, yeah, because the expectations you may have and want, no matter how hard you try, are not going to be met by that employer. And I said, you have a lot of talent and a lot of future ahead of you. So why not take that opportunity to establish time right now to really think about what's next for you? So that really made her think of things differently. I provided a little different perspective. So that leads me to our ongoing conversations of really thinking about strengths and who we are and what we offer by spending time today talking to you about the total focus model. Now, we've talked about some of this in the past, but I've really taken more time as I've worked with individuals. It seems like I have more individuals calling and asking for coaching on how can I be better? I want to kind of repurpose myself and reinvigorate myself because I'm feeling kind of flat in my role. And I'm feeling like I don't know really what I want to do next. And so it's interesting. I don't know what's going on right now, but it just seems like there's a lot of that going on. So when I speak to individuals, and this is to all of you as individuals, depending on where you are in your life, it could be, coming out of college, it could be more of that mid-career, and it sometimes is later in that transitional time at that leadership level, even asking yourself the question, I only have so many more years, am I doing what I love, or should I be transitioning into something else? So really today we're going to talk a little bit about the total focus model, which really starts with the core of who you are. We have to first be really clear on who we are as an individual. You've heard me speak about this ongoing all the time about who are you. Well, the talent is at the core of who we are. The talent is what we're born with. It's nature, it's nurture, it's that growing of that natural person of who we are. And sometimes we're so close to it, we don't even know it so clearly. So that's why I recommend that we use assessments like StrengthsFinder, or maybe like other tools and assessments like Myers-Briggs or maybe Emergenetics or something to get an insight to confirm who you are. You know it, but sometimes it's really hard to put words to understanding what we do best. And when we think about talent, we always think of people like the actors and the athletes and all those individuals who we look at, they are very talented. But let's look at you and me as the talented individuals. We're the people who bring what we bring every day and make things happen, get things done, come up with the best ideas. The talent is who we are. It's naturally recurring patterns of behavior, productively applied. Naturally, which means it's you. It happens naturally. It's not hard. Recurring means it happens all the time. It's ongoing. It's not something you said, oh, I can do that, but, right? It's something that's naturally there every day and it's easy for you and you're in that flow. That's what really that whole talent is. Patterns of behavior. Some of us are great thinkers, some of us are great doers, some of us are great relationship builders, some of us are great communicators, influencers, some of us are a great combination of all of those things. And that's what makes us unique. When we really think about the talent that we bring and what we bring to the table, we have to be able to say that to somebody. This is who I am and this is what I do best. Now, some of you may say, well, isn't that kind of boisterous? I don't want to be ego. It's like, no, there's a difference between ego and confidence. Confidence is knowing what you are and what you can deliver and who you are and what you bring to the table. To be a world-class performer, we have to first start with that core and that talent of who we are. Next, then, of course, after we think about that core, of course, as we grow up, we gain skills. Just think about the skills that you learn when you're little. You're just learning to walk, you're learning to throw, you're learning to run, you're doing all those basics. Well, as we continue growing, the skills are things that we've been taught. Those are the things people can teach us. They teach us, think about your first job. You were taught how to use maybe a timekeeping system or how to use Word or how to do Excel or how to make a presentation, or the skills are the steps in which you accomplish something. So I can teach you how to do something. I can teach you how to run a system. I can teach you how to park. I can teach you how to do something. So that's the how. Then we move to knowledge. Knowledge then, of course, if you think about who we are, and then we went to school at young ages, in grade school and middle school and high school and college, and continue getting education, certifications, those types of things, podcasts, conferences. The knowledge base that we have is our opportunity to add the knowledge base to who we are as our talent. So knowledge is important to continue growing. Then we have experience. Then we get different experiences that come into our life, whether we have those first experiences when we go off to college, the experiences in different jobs, dealing with customers, dealing with partners, vendors, all those kinds of things. Just sometimes when we have those different experiences, we learn things, right? We hopefully gain some wisdom to say, yeah, that doesn't work, I need to do this. And so those experiences really help shape us, but they're all driven by our talent. And the last piece is values. You know, people always ask about the values piece and say, well, how does that play in? We've all, been raised in certain environments and certain areas of our life that are things, standards and principles of behaviors that are really, really important to us. And we need to hold to those. So I think it's important to understand and honor who you are with your values. So when we look at that circle, that is the total focus. That is you. You're made up of all those things. You're made up of that core talent, which you always have to honor. You're given different opportunities to learn skills, gain knowledge, and experiences, right? And then our values really hold us to who we are. So that's who you are. That whole circle makes you. So as I was having that conversation with Erica, we were having the conversation about what does that mean to you, Erica? What do you have to offer? Lots of companies out there. You have a lot to offer, but you really have to start defining it beyond your skills, knowledge, and experience. Because I think many times we spend a lot of time looking at our resume, spending all the time thinking about, oh, look what I have to offer. Well, you know what? I've looked at tons of resumes, and there's lots of people who have the same thing to offer that you do in terms of skills, knowledge, and experience, especially if you're applying for a specific role. So what you have to do is you really have to find a way to differentiate yourself. You have to find a way to be able to express that talent. What is that talent? How do you do this job? How do you go about that? That's what's going to be important to an employer who's hiring you. Because a certain person can do the same role, but very differently. One can approach it from one direction, one can approach it from the other, but that's what you bring. So I think that's really important to know that. The last piece I want to talk about is fit. So we can have lots of opportunities for different roles and apply for different jobs and promotions, but you really have to think about what is the right fit for you. So we take all of us and we say, what is a good fit? Well, number one, you have to look at the role. Here's the role, here's the person. How do they align? So make sure you're clear on knowing what the role is and clarifying that, and then understanding what you bring and is there a match? Because of course you're going to be doing the work. That's the first thing. The second thing is a fit for the manager. We all have managers. Some of us had great managers, some of us haven't. We have to really think about what do we want in our manager, because we want to have clear expectations of what they bring to us. Third is the company. What kind of company do we want to work with? Do we want a mission-driven company? Do we want a nonprofit? Do we want a corporate environment? Think about even what they stand for, what their leadership's about. Do you align with who they are, what they do? Some companies aren't, their values may not align to yours, so you really need to be clear on what that is for you. Don't always accommodate what they are, because there will be some discontentment within that. And then fourth is a fit for the team. We all spend 75% of our life, probably at least in our life. And when you think about that, 75% of our work time is with lots of people around us. We need to like the people we spend time with. We need to trust them. We need to know that there's somebody there who covers our back. So when you think about our total focus, it includes you and all that you bring. And then thinking about the fit, you have the opportunity to choose what's the right fit for you. So when we think about positive charge this week, first I would like you to take a look at the total focus model and really look at how you present yourself. What are your talents? What are your skills, knowledge, and experience? And second, think about the fit. What is the fit for you? Take some time to think about those 4 key areas and define what the true fit is for you. We have so much to offer, and our engagement is up to us. So if you're sitting in a company like Erica wondering where my future lies, or I'm discontent, guess what? You have a huge opportunity to make a change in that. Us as leaders, we look for people who are engaged and want to do that, but I want people who come to me and are able to have that conversation and feel safe to say, you know what, I'd like to do more of this or more of that. So we're on the same page, and we're here to be engaged, both of us in our companies and as individuals, to serve our customers. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.